welcome to somewhere partially underground on this continent. Welcome to Euclid Ebenezer Training, and I entitled this teaching tonight, Crumbs, C-R-U-M-B-S. And I don't mean people you don't like. I mean crumbs from cookies or sandwiches or something. Matthew 15:27. And she said, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. There's another account in Mark 7:28 of this story too. This lady was not a church lady. She was a great mother, and she understood her daughter had a demon. They had no search engine to find help, but she had heard of this guy, Jesus. She went to a rally that Jesus was at, and she came up with a plan to see him. She fought through the people and then fought through to get to Jesus. I had an experience. It was probably the 1990s. I mean, the last few decades have gone by so fast. Maybe middle to late 90s. And it was a kind of a strange alternative health food, New Age Prophets Conference was advertised, and took a handful of tracts and I was going to go just go and see what happened. So I'm waiting in line, and I'd bought my ticket, I think. I don't remember, or I was waiting in line to buy a ticket. And there was a lady standing over there, kind of in the middle. There's a line of like 60 people, building up to go inside. And I was in the middle of that. And she was standing out of the line, away from the line, but not very far away. And she was dressed like she's going to church. She had on a nice dress, and it looked like she could have been going to church or something. And she had like a child there, 11, 12, something like that, a kid. And they're standing there, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she starts screaming, and she starts yelling, and she says, I'm hungry, I want a sandwich, they won't let me in here. And she's screaming this out at the top of her lungs. And so the security people are going over there, and she won't shut up. And she has her arms folded, and she's belting it out the top of her lungs. I don't know if they were filming something or this was some kind of reality show, and she was getting the attention, and these two security guards came up to her and says, you know what, if you'll just calm down, we'll buy you a sandwich. We'll let you come into the event. And all of a sudden, whoo, it stopped, and she was let in. And, and so this is the type of atmosphere I picture this woman here in the story in chapter 15. And she makes it to Jesus. And like this lady in the story that I told, she wasn't accepting no for an answer. And maybe she would have been hauled off to jail, but she was going to go to jail trying. And this lady came up to Jesus, and Jesus kind of says an insult that talking about the food isn't for the the children's bread isn't for the dogs. And this dog, this term dog, is like not a wild animal dog, but like a domesticated house pet. And but still, it's kind of an insult. And she's, and then Jesus, verse, how great is thy faith. And what did this lady do to have great faith? She, sitting there now, looking like she's been rejected after all this work, all the stress, her daughter, and she's at the end of it. What does she do? She doesn't give up, is what she's not doing. And so I believe the Holy Spirit gave her a thought and said, she says, yes, but the dogs eat the crumbs that fall off the kitchen table. And Jesus says, what great faith you have. Because she kept hanging on to the horns of the altar, and she was not going to be denied or let go. And her daughter was made whole. And the lesson from this is the person of Jesus, to press in to the person of Jesus. If the system seems to reject you, press into him. Try to ignore the system and go after Jesus. Lord, I just pray for everyone who hears this short teaching, Lord, about crumbs, crummy with crumbs. And I just pray, Lord, these are some, like this lady I told about at this conference, Lord. She was desperate. And I'm so glad they helped her. And she had no pride. And she was just jumping out. I'm going to do this. I need help. And like this other woman here in the story with her daughter, she was just jumping into it and going to, I just got to have something. And so, Lord, I just pray that for people who are suffering and really need something, I pray that your Holy Spirit would speak to him way clearly that these people can get the help that they need. And Lord, it's not easy. And you could scream at 100 events like this and not get anything, any help, and just thrown in the slammer. So Lord, there's unique situations and times, and I just pray for the Holy Spirit to deal with people. Wisdom. When is the time to grab a hold and hang on to something? It's a very difficult, sometimes, understanding, Lord, when we're wrestling with getting help for somebody who is in need of help. And when there's time, there are times, verses that tell us when to walk away, Lord. And it's a very great difficulty sometimes to decide, make those decisions. I pray for wisdom from your Holy Spirit to help you. Signing off from somewhere partially underground. And to the people, teaching is to people that sometimes even small things may seem like crumbs to you, but it may be the answer you need, even though it's only a crumb. Good night.